This is a hybrid meeting. We have a quorum of 6 out of 7 members tonight. Anybody with a comment from the public? You're welcome to provide comments back to the school department. And this is being held as a hybrid meeting under the authorization of the act relating to extending certain state of emergency accommodations. So for the first one, first order of business will be to approve the previous meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Anybody want a second?
Second.
I don't know if I was here for it, so I'm trying to.
Any questions, comments, concerns about the minutes?
No.
This being a hybrid meeting, we're going to have to poll the members. Bridget?
Abstain?
Okay.
Yes.
Ben? Jeff?
I think I'm gonna abstain too.
Okay. Dino?
Yes.
I'm a yes. John?
Yes.
Okay. That is a vote. Okay. Kate, project status update?
So as everyone knows, the school opened and the construction limit of work fence was pulled back to only be around the Phase 1B, which is the Fieldhouse addition. So we did have a drone go in about 10 days ago and take some pictures on a Saturday morning of the site, which came out really nice.
Yeah,
To
wonderful.
show the new traffic pattern, specifically with the road that goes behind the high school, that leads back out to Common Street, and the bus route. So everything is cleaned up, and the parking lot was turned over. We still have just the binder down on some of it with the finished paving happening next summer now. In the regular parking lot, all the spots were numbered ahead of the students returning, and parking has been seeming to go pretty smoothly. The field house is coming along. The panels are going in, the translucent panels at the front of the field house addition. The masonry is ongoing, they're wrapping up, and we have MEP ongoing inside. Just a reminder, with the field house addition, the parking lot at the front of the field house will be turned over with Phase 1B after winter break.
Will that be used for student parking then after that?
I think it's, the majority of it, and Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, is handicap parking and some visitor spots, is that right?
Yeah, most of it is. I think there is some student parking in there, but most of it is for handicap parking. I think there's also the van spot for Walpole TV in there as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
The greenhouse install is ongoing, and that will be turned over with Phase 1B. So that's coming along. So Phase 2 of the project, the science wing renovation. I think most of you were on the tour before school started and saw the science wing, and all the classrooms. But I think we've had a pretty seamless transition to the teachers going back in there. Everyone seems pretty happy with the spaces, and I think the layouts are working well. One thing that did come up after school started, or right around the time school was starting, was that a lot of these rooms have 24 kids in each class rather than 20. Initially, these rooms were designed for 20 kids, so I think you were copied on email from Jack between the last building committee meeting and the start of school. And we had gone out and gotten a quote for adding an additional 2 science room tables and 4 chairs to each of the classrooms. So that ended up being a total of 20 additional science tables and 40 additional chairs. So there's a 6 to 8 week lead time on that, and that was signed off on between building committee meetings and has been ordered. So the classrooms are making do right now. You can see some of the flip-top tables from the science breakout area that were brought in with some older chairs. But the tables and chairs are on order and should be in hopefully early November, end of October. So that was, I believe, about just under $33,000 for those additional tables and chairs. And that went to our FF&E line item in our budget. The science breakout area was finished shortly after school ended. And you can see the picture here with the doors closed. And that can all be opened up at that space. And then just, a hallway picture with the prep rooms now bumped out into the hallway. So everything looks really clean.
Is there furniture in the breakout area?
There are some flip-top tables. It's meant to be kind of moved around as needed. There are flip-top tables and chairs, and a few benches in there as well. Just a reminder where we are with Phase 1B with the limit of work. So everything in blue is where the construction fence is now, and everything outside of blue is turned back over to the school. So this is actually a site plan that was uploaded to the website, just to show traffic patterns and where the buses drop off before the start of school.
There's a lot of sort of dirt piles to the north of the entry off Common Street. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of staging and stuff there, Kate. You know how there are two entries on Common Street, so between those two entries is an area that will be built as part of, I don't know what phase, but right now there's just like big piles of dirt and stuff like that. That's all fenced in as well, right?
Yeah, that is fenced in, so that's part of the driveway extension work for
Correct.
the site work that's getting done next summer. So we did dig that up for the duck bank that had to go in over the summer, and that area should be getting cleaned up a little bit more. But it is within, you're right, there is a construction fence over there.
It's just, I don't know whether
on
it
the
should be
hill.
designated blue as a part of the construction zones or
Yeah.
not. I mean, I know it's there, you guys know it's there, everyone who goes to school there knows it's there, I suppose, so
Yep.
it's not a big deal.
All right, so the 3-week look ahead, the greenhouse install.
One quick question.
Yep.
And it's, you just triggered this with the comment about the blue. I think it shows the snack shack in blue. Does that mean the snack shack is not usable right now?
The snack shack is usable. That's right below the 1A parking lot. So that is open right now.
Blue was where the mock-up was, Jack, that you're thinking about?
I'm looking at that.
That little island there, yeah.
Yeah.
Snack Shack is up next to the new lot.
Okay.
Have to see.
Can I ask a quick question too?
Yep.
In this science breakout room, is there furniture in there?
Yeah. Yep, there's some flip-top tables, some chairs, and some benches in there.
Cool. Thanks.
So 3-week look ahead. Greenhouse install is ongoing. They're working on the concrete walks around the 1B Fieldhouse addition. The curtain wall and storefront will be starting this week on the Fieldhouse. Jet board on the upper wall starts this week as well. They are going to be setting HVAC equipment tomorrow, so there'll be a crane out there. The courtyard landscaping is ongoing. Well, it'll be starting towards the end of September and probably finishing up before mid-October. The Fieldhouse will be weather tight by September 25th. And they'll be wrapping up on some landscape work and then starting to paint the gym at the end of September. And then in terms of the Phase 2 science wing, punch list is ongoing and off hours. The vinyl graphic should be going up this week, and training is ongoing.
Is there anything really significant on the punch list in the science wing right now? That's impact, and by major, I would say impacting operation or instruction.
Not that I can think of. Anything that you can think of? It's just working through some kinks with the science wing, specifically with the stretch energy code with the outlets. Some of the outlets, or 50% of the outlets with the stretch energy code are supposed to turn off with the occupancy sensors. So like the top duplex is the controlled outlet and the bottom will be on all the time. So it's just getting familiar with that and letting the teachers know what's going on in their space. The countertop outlets are all on all the time for all of the turtles and animals that are in there, but the other outlets are half and half. And then, some of the teachers are saying that their thermostats are reading a little bit off, but I think that's just, you know, getting to know their room and adjusting the temperature within like the 5-degree swing that each room is. So, nothing major.
Okay.
And then we are gonna have one additional Eversource outage. That date has not been confirmed, but we're thinking it's gonna happen around Columbus Day. So we're coordinating that with Agostini. So, anything you wanna touch on that, or?
No, we're monitoring closely the Eversource work right now. Pompeo, the site contractor, and Agostini were pushing to get their work done and inspected by Eversource so they can get the transformer set in place. So we're monitoring that closely right now, which hopefully by next week at this time, we'll have a better picture, but that's what we're shooting for, is to get this work inspected by the end of this week. Release the transformer, and then Eversource has got to do their trick. Pulling the overhead wires down to the new duct bank, and then pulling the primary to the new transformer in the back of the gym.
And this outage should be fairly short,
Yes.
we've been told.
They have the transformer, they have to order it, they have to,
They said they have to approve it, which means they can't release it until the transformer pad has been inspected. So once that's inspected, hopefully by Friday, they can, hopefully it's relatively close by, but they didn't seem too concerned, but one little minor storm or something happens, then it's, you know, it's a, but, hopefully next week or so we'll have a better idea of what's happening there.
okay. Eversource, wow.
All right, so we'll go to the PCOs, and the memo. So the memo was sent out with the packet at the end of last week. Any questions on the memo? Anything we wanna specifically talk about? I know Matt can talk through anything specifically. We're looking at 2 change orders, change order 18 and change order 19. Actually, I think we should talk through, yeah, a couple of these, but I guess in change, so, there's 3 PCOs that are included in change order 19 that are, kind of up to the committee's review and, figuring out how we wanna proceed with them. They're nice to haves, but they're also items that were, VE'd earlier in the project.
Yep.
So, specifically PCO 9, PCO 28, and then we do want to talk through PCO 66. So Matt, do you want to talk through those? Start with PCO 9.
Sure. So PCO 9, we were asked to get a price to replace the ceiling tiles outside of the kind of the new health classroom, and also below, kind of in the corridor by the Walpole TV. They, in the contract documents, we own taking them down, you know, salvaging them, allow the overhead work to take place, and then reinstalling them. They are in kind of rough shape, so we got a cost to replace them. The cost to do that work was $3,396.77.
How big an area are we talking about? Like if this was a square foot
whatever the
cost, would that be
square
reasonable?
footage was. I don't have that number in front of me, but the corridor itself is probably, I don't know, 20 plus feet long.
8 feet wide?
But yeah, plus or minus, and it jogs kind of back into the Walpole TV entry as well.
Haven't we already approved something similar to this
Maybe in a different area.
in a different area?
This PCO has been on the log since the beginning of the project, so I don't think
Okay, so I've
we
just
haven't
been
officially
looking at
approved it,
it
but
Yeah.
it's been sitting on there since the beginning.
I think that, as Matt said, the tiles that were in bad condition were already in the ceiling in not the best condition. We took them down, and the whole area's gonna be turned over looking sharp, so it probably makes sense to have new tiles in that area.
It's really interesting. On either side of this, Matt, are the tiles okay? In other words, is this gonna stand out it doesn't matter.
It's in a corridor.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's just in the corridor, so it's not touching any other space. There's walls everywhere else.
Sometimes what happens is, like, I just painted my front of my house and, you know, it's a small patch, but it's new and the rest of the house is not new, and all of a sudden that patch just looks very much like a patch, so I,
Job security.
yeah, exactly.
I would say, you know, this is coming from the transition, it's transition space from, you know, as you're walking like into that new area where you get the gym on your left and, you know, the athletic director space, and you walk into where, like, the new, like, the Walpole media section is, you're walking in from that new space into that,
That's
where the
fine.
transition is from the gym to the.
I'm sure it's,
school,
I'm sure it's
so.
great, that's
Square
fine.
square footage
about-
basis, it's like $15, $18 a square foot.
$20 a square foot is fine.
Okay.
So we make a motion to.
Well, keep going.
We can go through, I don't know if you wanna do them individually, or you wanna look at them, we'll go through all of them, and then the committee can decide if you wanna vote individually or as a whole.
Okay. We're on 28?
PCO
So
28, Matt, you wanna
PCO
talk through?
28, so in the existing gym, that becomes the new music suite. And in the final condition, we left the existing wood flooring to remain. So it would not be refinished. You'd have the existing court lines and everything else on there. We owned refinishing it originally in the estimates before the bid package, but that was taken out as part of the VE efforts to get back on budget before the construction documents went out. So this was the cost that we got from Agostini for prepping and to do that work to refinish all the floors in those new spaces within the music suite. So the cost for this was $42,523.48.
So if this was VE'd out, why are we looking at it now?
I think, you know, that gym gets broken up into multiple spaces, so in the final condition, you're gonna see like the basketball lines, volleyball lines. And if there's an opportunity to kind of make this space a little bit more finished, we wanted to bring it to the committee's attention again to
Yeah,
talk
we
through.
could do it. I like to do it instead of having all these basketball lines in the music room. We're building the field house for sports, and all of a sudden, the music program's gotta have the old floor with all these basketball lines. And if we're gonna do it, let's do it right. I think it's just gonna give us problems in the future. It'll look horrible.
I don't disagree, I'm just thinking, you know, there's a lot of change orders in this project, there's gonna be a lot more to go, and is there gonna be something else that is more important to do, valued at $42,000, so.
It's actually, yeah.
I don't wanna look 6 months down the road and, oh, we shouldn't have approved that, that's where the money would have gone.
So, with this change, they would take the lines away, Bridget?
Yeah, we'd get a floor. You know,
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, it would get completely, sanded down and refinished.
Refinish the floor for the music department.
This work's not planned until January, though?
They're turning, so the new addition opens, so then the gym, then they're gonna start renovating the gym, so yeah. They'll be getting into the gym in January, Agostini, to start the construction.
So this has to be, if we're gonna do it, this has to be done before January then?
Yeah, I know Agostini was hoping that we were gonna talk through this tonight and make a decision, but, the gym's not getting turned over for the music until.
I think this is more for planning purposes right now, so they can put it into their schedule, put the time aside to sand it into the schedule, so they're looking for approval this meeting.
Well, to Jeff's point, if this isn't gonna get turned over until next year, and used till next year, they don't need to know this and do this until sometime in the spring. By then, we'll know a lot better where we stand in terms of change orders.
Okay.
And
What do you
so,
think, Jim?
I think there's some merit to.
Well, this would need to be done before they start all that, they wanna.
Agostini is pushing to get this into a change order so they can plan it and schedule it. We're not 100% sure when this will happen, but obviously, when take out the bleachers, there's an open floor, you probably wanna finish that.
Want to finish it before they
quicker
start
and then
segmenting
fill
all
out the
that up,
spaces.
yeah,
Concern is the timing.
yeah.
Well,
But still, given that that's January,
I was just looking at the last page though, Jeff, in terms of where we stand in terms of contingency work and change orders. It's a telling little thing that says we're 64% complete, but only have used 36% of contingency, so.
still a long way to go.
I understand, but what's the work that's remaining? And what's the exposure to change orders going
Slimer
forward?
was obviously the most risk that we're just coming off of that now, so.
Right,
Might be a few skeletons in phase 2 and 3, but
It-
nothing compared to what we just discovered during phase
Nothing compared to,
science, but knock on wood.
And the
I
site
think
work.
compared to Eversource and the site work and the
I
fire
was gonna say
alarm.
Eversource, no more
Tell me we're
scares.
not gonna come up with another fire alarm scenario. I don't have a problem with
Brand new
it.
system.
I mean, it just seems to
Actually,
me that we're
that's a
doing,
good point. We haven't accounted yet for, because this is gonna go against the contingency, for the additional work for the fiber, and the additional Eversource work. And we know that that's gonna be,
Well, haven't we approved those contingency, those change orders?
no, not the fiber.
Eversource
Hey,
is
help me.
Eversource has been all approved.
All Eversource is
It's
done.
the Comcast, Verizon.
Still don't
and
know what
UAE.
that's gonna be doing.
We're working through the proposals, because they have to get the duct banks in to measure it, and they're not for the conduits in to measure it. But, yeah, I'll have a better idea. We're just waiting on one last, proposal. I don't have those
There-
numbers in front of me, but it shouldn't be more than, I would think,
It's less than 6 figures.
yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. I would think probably less than 50.
And is there a line item allocated to it now, or the line,
That would
that
come out
amount
of-
is zero?
Owner's contingency,
Bonus contingency.
And this one's coming out of
construction.
construction contingency, okay.
my opinion is that it's gonna look terrible, and it's sort of disrespectful to the music department to have them, like.
Well, I think they could shoot foul shots while at the same time as they're, working on their latest
Only
piece.
imagine how that would be used.
We'll send them all to you then.
Just set up a basket in there, Bridget. No, I tend to agree with that. My inclination is to say, yeah, make the floor right.
Yeah, make it look like a finished space that we're giving them,
Time
not
to
just
do
the
it when
sports.
it's under construction versus trying to do it and.
Yeah.
you know.
Hey, Matt, do you want to talk through PCO 66?
Or PCO 66, in the construction documents, we own disconnecting the existing bleachers, making them safe, and salvaging them and relocating them to somewhere else within the Walpole town limit. We were asked to get a credit back from Agostini if they were to not remove and deliver the bleachers to another location. They still own the electrical disconnects and will be provided. The district is looking at removing and installing these bleachers with an independent vendor to be located at another school, which is Elm Street within the district. So this was recommended by the vendor to allow the ownership and complete demo and install to kind of help eliminate any issues or risk with kind of two different people doing the demo and then them reassembling it. So this was the credit that we got from Agostini to not do the work in the contract documents, which came to a total of $16,986. And again, this is going to be used
What's
to.
the rough order of magnitude on the installation cost and the relocation by the third party?
So those costs are being taken on by the school district. They're taking those on.
Okay.
It's not gonna hit this project budget at all.
All right.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna take that $16,000 credit that's already within the scope of this project and applying it toward that, because it is scope work. We're gonna get rid of the bleachers from this building and applying it towards that contract. So to answer your question, all in, including the $16,000 credit, that scope of work would be about $67,000, which also includes electrical work that would need to get done at the Elm Street School. So that includes removing and disposing of the bleachers from the high school, removing and disposing Elm Street bleachers, relocating the bank from the high school to Elm Street, and the electrical work minus the credits. And that net difference the school district's taking on is about $67,000.
Well, is Agostini okay with someone else coming in to take them out?
Yeah.
So you've been in direct contact with them? It's our preference that that's the case, because this company that's coming in and doing it, this is what they do, this is their bread and butter, so we know that they're gonna come in and handle it with care and relocate them and install them.
Agostini's got no problem with that?
No.
Okay.
Did they itemize that, proposal? Like, does that 17,000 line up with what it's gonna cost them to remove it?
Yeah, I think it was comparable, right?
I'm just curious.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it, but it was comparable, so,
So it's a fair credit.
yeah. Because we own removing and relocating, and they're gonna be having, it didn't include disposing any of these bleachers, so,
It makes sense to have the bleacher company take them apart, and those are pieces versus a couple of laborers from Agostini,
Yeah.
the install would be lost.
Yeah, it'll help limit the finger pointing of, you did this, they did that, and so forth.
Agreed.
We just installed these bleachers in 2018, so they're relatively new, good condition, so,
The same company?
yeah, yep.
The other ones are relatively small.
Yeah, so the total for, proposed change order number 18 is $16,817. And then change order 19, including the changes we just talked through, is $58,077.79. So the total for a change order 18 and 19 would be $74,894.86, including the gym floor, PCO.
Well, as a minimum, we should vote on the change orders separately, and we can talk about what we want to do about the gym floor. So anyway, I'd entertain a motion to approve change order 16, I'm sorry, change order 18, in the amount of $16,817.07. Anybody want to make a motion for that?
Which one? What?
So moved.
I'm all confused.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion on change order 18? All right, hold the room. Bridget?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Dino?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Yes. Okay, on change order 19. Do we want to
Motion to
vote on
approve.
the full amount?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion to approve change order 19 totaling $58,077.79.
Second?
Jen? Okay, any further discussion? All right, poll the room. Bridget?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Jeff?
Pass? Okay. Yes.
Dino?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Next.
Next is review of the August vendor invoice package. So that includes TAPA's invoice, Vertex invoices, some FF&E invoices, the third-party testing agent, Agostini's rec. So Agostini's rec is for $3,059,400, and I think that says $88, $88.84. And currently, they are 61% complete with their contract work. We have the budget update in here for reference, and we're looking for a vote for the August VIP in the amount of $62,015.90.
So moved.
Second? We have a second?
Second?
I have a question.
Yep.
Robert Lord
Yep.
Company, what is furnishings, fixtures? Is that for classroom furniture, Kate?
Yeah, for us, specifically tables and chairs.
Okay.
Any additional discussion? Poll the committee. Bridget?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yep.
Dino?
Yes.
John? John?
Yes.
And I'm a yes.
So our next building committee meeting is scheduled for October 14th at 7 o'clock.
Anything
Are
else?
there any, like, potential change orders we want to talk about that are be coming up?
I think, Matt, do you want to, so at the phase, we don't have numbers for this yet, but just for the Phase 4 site work for the driveway extension. There is a drain that goes behind that wall, the brick wall, that just has to be adjusted, and a water line have to be adjusted. But all the investigation's been done, the proposal is out there to get pricing. They just have to be lowered because the grade is getting lowered over there. And we don't have any numbers for that yet, but that is the last thing in terms of site work that we foresee. Matt, anything to add?
Not off the top of my head. I was going through change orders today, and
What about
nothing kind of
81 and
sticks out
80
to me at this point.
81 and 82, they're two big numbers.
That's the milling and overlays for next summer. That's the paving that we postponed, and that will be brought up next spring for summer work.
Why is it a change order? Is it not in the original documents?
That's correct.
Yeah, we decided we were gonna do one uniform, even coat once it's all done?
Yeah,
The entire parking lot, everything?
yeah.
That's it, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
So we own
Correct.
top coat within the limit of work, but it was gonna look a little bit patchy, so.
I didn't realize the numbers were gonna be so.
Yeah, me neither.
So we're looking at,
What about
why
one
isn't
twenty?
this, I'm sorry, explain to me again why this isn't covered in the original work under the contract?
What is covered is, you wanna pull up the site plan? Yeah, the presentation.
Essentially, we were only paving areas where we were doing work. We weren't paving the entire parking lots all the way around the building. So this is to pave all the areas that are not kind of within the limit of work, so that we've got a universal clean pavement throughout the entire site.
Yeah, so everything within the bold line is within our limit of work site, and we do own top coat. But everything that is a little bit more faded is outside.
This parking over here would be existing, and we're doing, I think we're doing all the paving around the whole bus loop. This is new for the contract, this is new per contract, this is new per contract, but these would not be done.
And of course, at the very front too, where the buses are now, right?
Yeah. And the bus extension, obviously, that gets,
That'll get new, that was in the contract, I'm assuming.
contract working.
So.
Yeah, part of that,
work
since
totals
the
like
new bus loop goes
$250,000.
through, some of that is owned up to a certain point, and then it would go back to existing pavement again.
So of the $202,335,000 remaining, $250,000 of that is gonna go to final paving.
Maybe.
Just keep that in your mind.
Can we talk about 124 and 125? So Patrick, 124, just looking in the comments, we have a controls contractor that didn't show up and do the job, so we'd have Agostini do it?
Sorry, say it again, Joe?
124,
Yep.
we have a controls contractor that didn't show up.
This one's still under review, it's still under review with us and the design team.
Yeah, so this is, that we had the admin suite and the media center, along with Walpole TV downstairs. When the low voltage was pulled for the science renovation, all of a sudden, the cooling wasn't happening. So we had to investigate where those wires came from, and rerun them and get them reconnected. So this was the investigation. This is the number that was submitted that we are going back and forth with and pushing back on Agostini.
So it was done, work's complete, you're just reviewing the T&M slips, basically, right?
Yep.
Oh my, no wood blocking,
And then wood blocking on the new field house?
$13,000.
That one we're gonna be pushing back on as well, because they're billing us for some blocking that we already show in the documents. But they asked if they could add blocking, I think they basically already had the curbs installed. and in order to get the roofing installed, in order to get that done before the units were put in, they had to put the blocking in because they had to still have access to the springs. And then once the unit is set in place, the springs no longer need to be accessed, but kind of their way that they were doing it and means and methods for the process, we ended up adding blocking so they could get installed properly.
On the science wing or the field house, Matt?
This is on the field house. So there's 2 units up there, but again, we're going back and forth on this one still because I think they're charging us for stuff that we already own, so this number should come down.
Just a reminder, with the color coding everything in yellow, it's still under review.
Now, and I would just ask you to take a hard look at this one, putting blocking in for the roof units on a brand-new roof. I would think that should have been included with the installation. So just push back hard on that if you would.
Will do.
All right, anybody else have anything else? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.